What's happening right now, and how low do you think it can go?
Well, I think we're in a risk-off period, and for all assets, if you look at the stock market, the more risky or volatile parts of the market have come in dramatically since mid-February, and I think a lot of the concerns have been around inflation. Initially, that was helping Bitcoin because obviously Bitcoin's a very important inflation hedge. You know, it's a rules-based monetary policy, the first global rules-based monetary policy we have ever had. Hugely important reserve currency of the crypto asset ecosystem. But I think what's happening right now is because the stock market, the highly volatile part of the stock market, the innovation oriented part of the stock market has gone through such a correction, which has been flamed by inflation fears. I think the correlations among volatile assets are going to one right now, and that's including Bitcoin.
Well, I want to unpack a couple of things. So Bitcoin, I mean, you at one point, I think back in April, told Dow Jones that it could go to about $500,000. Do you still hold that target? Do you still think that's where we're headed?
We do. I do. Yassine El Mandra is our crypto analyst, and we go through soul searching times like this and scrape the models. And yes, our conviction is as high. The one thing that has changed here, however, is the environmental concerns around Bitcoin in particular have caused people like Elon Musk to pull away and say, whoa, 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 let me make sure I understand this. And we believe that even this is going to change because, first of all, right now, the percentage of Bitcoin mined with renewables and hydroelectric power is quite substantial. I think in China, it's over 50% in renewables. And we also believe, and we wrote a paper in conjunction with Square on this, and we're going to have a conference about it in July. We believe that Bitcoin mining integrated into the distributed grid, and by that I mean solar roofs, power walls in homes, utilities, merchant power producers, starting to include Bitcoin mining in the ecosystem. Why would they do that? They would do it because renewables are intermittent power sources, right? Weather, is it sunny or not? Wind, is it windy or not? And Bitcoin mining could take off if there's excess energy from solar being loaded into power walls, it can be offloaded into Bitcoin mining, and the whole ecosystem, therefore, becomes much more economic. If this happens, we believe that the adoption of solar is going to accelerate dramatically because there's another profit center associated with it, Bitcoin mining.
Well, what happens though in the meantime? So here we are at 35,000, Cathie. Do you think we go much lower from here?
You never know how low is low when a market gets very emotional. A lot of traders see Bitcoin dropping below the 200-day moving average, which was at 40,000. So traders, once that happened, they just dump. Some just dump and run. I think we're in a capitulation phase. Yassine has a dashboard. We were looking at all the indicators this morning. They are all suggesting that we are in the capitulation phase, which is a really great time to buy, no matter what the asset is. A capitulation phase is buy. It's on sale. Now, am I saying 35,000 is the low? You know, if traders, and there are a lot of speculators in Bitcoin, if they are running for the hills just because Bitcoin has broken through a moving average that is important to them, it could continue. But all of our indicators are saying this is capitulation right now.
Do you have a low point on your model for Bitcoin?
No, these metrics are more a measure. Are we in a truly capitulation phase?
Okay.
And it's very detailed. Yassine uses on-chain analysis, which this is the only asset where you can see exactly who's doing what, when, why, and how. And all of those metrics are saying this is a capitulation. This is as bad as it got during the coronavirus crisis.
So what about systemic concerns? And I'm not talking about bringing down the financial system, but you know more and more of kind of the establishment are getting involved in Bitcoin. A lot more companies have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Should we be concerned about their exposure? Tesla, for one, but others.
Yes. Yes. Well, they're usually, in the case of Square and Tesla, they're between 5 and 8% of their cash is in Bitcoin. So I don't, so that's no cause for concern. I mean, think about it. We were worried that Tesla would run out of cash. Of course, ARK was not worried, but the world was worried 2 years ago that it would run out of cash. It has so much cash now that it has the luxury to put 5 to 8% in Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy is another company. It has almost all its cash in Bitcoin. That's perhaps something different, you know. But as I said, if we are in the capitulation phase, we shouldn't be worried about MicroStrategy either. We do believe this is a new asset class, and that institutions, they are looking at it right now because the correlations of relative returns and total returns to compared to other asset classes tends to be very low over time. And so they have to look at it. Now, ESG might prevent a move in wholesale, but we do believe that once they understand how renewables are becoming incorporated into the Bitcoin mining ecosystem, and that Bitcoin mining might accelerate the adoption of solar, and I think Elon will come back and be a part of that ecosystem as well. I know it's been hard for our clients in recent months, keep the faith, but many people's lives have been changed by what happened last year. They put their, they allocated resources towards our strategies, towards Bitcoin, and they had a magnificent run. So it's gratitude that we feel. Now, of course, we're feeling very responsible, of course, this year, but that's why it's so important for us to say, you know, that what pains me more than anything as a portfolio manager is when I know our clients are selling at the bottom. And it usually is that people sell. The big capitulation that I described earlier with Bitcoin is selling at the bottom. So you make a terrible mistake and you don't want to ever get in again. And it just pains me. So I'm just praying that we don't have a lot of that. We've had a lot of retention. Just to correct one thing you said at the beginning, actually, as a firm, we've not had 1 month of redemptions. The ETF platform had, if you go month end to month end, which is how we measure this sort of thing,
Right.
Our redemptions in March were 500 million. We've had positive flows in April. May, it remains to be seen. It's been nip and tuck. It may end up being a small, depends on what happens in these last few weeks. But you know, if there's real capitulation, sure, we could have a big outflow, but I think that's capitulation.
What have you learned in the past year, and what does maybe change mean to you?
Well, as we were having such an incredible year last year, and I do think the coronavirus crisis caused it, innovation solves problems. I kept saying to everyone, everyone in the company, we must stay humble. We must stay humble, and we know this is going to come to an end. We're going to go through a severe correction, and we have to just keep our heads down, focused on our research to keep our conviction and drive our strategies forward. That's what's happened. Keeping our heads down, hopefully staying humble, and really trying to educate people. The great opportunities available out there. Get on the right side of change. This is going to be the most amazing period of my investment career. And I've been through 40 plus years because we've never seen 5 innovation platforms evolve at the same time, all of them leading to exponential growth trajectories that are going to transform people's lives.